So I got the platform all extended up on the white guy bracket or spotty bracket. Well, pretty much I just cut this end off here, bit of flat plate, welded it on, because this is a copy of an ARB bar. It's actually, this tube thickness is not very thick, and when I didn't actually weld it on too high a heat, but it got in there and gave it a good burn in, so I melted through there and there, pretty much where the join was. But I had to sort of linish it flat anyway because of the clearance of the design, that the spotlights had to pretty much rest on the bar here, so it had to be linished flat anyway. But I am going to move on to the diff lock wiring install. I butchered the harness because I'm using the factory Toyota diff lock switch and diff lock wiring. Sort of did up a bit of a diagram circuit found off online and chased up a few of the wires, pinned them out. So this is the factory diff lock ECU. That's actually in the 80. Some do have it, some don't. The Saharas all do because they've got factory diff lock, but some GXLs have it, as I understand. But that's the factory diff lock switch, and some of the blokes have put relays in here, but I'm going to use a transistor, wire in a transistor, just because it's a lot smaller and don't have to run relays, and I can just solder it into the loom and heat shrink it and you won't even know it's there. Tuck it up, cable tie it up into the loom. But I cut out all the rocker switch wiring, so I'm pretty much just left with 3 wires. Ignition, and that triggers down to the pressure switch on the compressor. That's illumination, which I'll pick up off the radio, and ground. But yeah, so I'll have to solder in. I'll have to extend this yellow and red one because I'm going to pull it off the factory diff lock plug, because that's already fused in the 80, so I don't have to run another fuse. And if it ever does blow, it's diff lock, so this is diff lock in the kick panel. But yeah, also got a gift yesterday turn up in the post, thanks Australia Post. Raptor, so I'm going to do the Raptor on the bull bar, and also cut this out for cables yesterday too while I was mucking around here. Bull bar, scrubbies, side steps. I am waiting for the Raptor non-slipped additive that's coming from a different supplier, so once that's in, then I can start ripping this bar off, prepping it, and get it painted. So I'm back on doing the air compressor install. So I've started with doing the dash light, the diff locker dash light to work. So I consulted my good mate Daniel. He's a electrical engineer, and he's confirmed what I was going to do, which is this little diagram here, which is a transistor and a couple of resistors. I've got a 1.5k here, and I've got a 100k down here. I've done the other side. I don't know if you can see in here, but that's the little circuit I made up. I know I probably should have put it in a little PCB, but it is what it is. I'll go turn the dash on. You can see what actually how it looks. I've done the front dash light so far. So just jump in the car, turn ignition. So we've got locker there, and it might not work actually. What have I got? What have I done? So take 2 on showing you the diff lock dash light. I didn't have the loom for the air compressor buttoned up on the battery, so here we go. So the air compressor should turn on now. Yep. Which means if I need a factory diff lock, go to, that's on the front. I don't know if you can hear the relay, but I can hear it clicking. There, front diff lock. So the little circuit I'm making up over here is the rear one. I'll keep wiring it up and then let you know. So I've got the circuit all soldered up. I don't know how good you can see, but hopefully there's a fair bit of light in here. So I've got so this is your goes to your dash light, this one straight out to your dash light. So on the other end of the light is 12 volt. The reason, sorry, I should go through the reason why I need to use this setup is that the dash is a 12 volt supply with switch to ground, where the ARB air locker wiring is a switch to power. So if you just wired it into the dash light, you're going to get nothing. You're going to get donuts. So you basically have to, you either do it this way or wire in a couple of relays. I didn't want to wire in some relays because it's quite bulky. Like if you can see in there, it's just a little bit of heat shrinked and a bit of glue, and some wiring and a couple of the transistor and the resistors. So I will so get back to, so this goes to the dash light. This is this 12 volt switch from the ARB solenoid, and then this is just a ground. So the resistors is to make sure that you don't fry the transistor, and the other 100k is to make sure the light turns off. I'll get this all heat shrinked up and bit of hot glue, and then put the bigger heat shrink over the whole top, and then get wire it into the wires I've already cut up here, and then give it a bit of a neaten up, and then job done. So that's the final product, all hot glued up, heat shrinked up. I put a little bit of red tape to mark which one is the middle terminal. As you can see, that's the earth, common earth that you need. So this wire here is the solenoid. This comes from the factory switch. On the other one I just joined it all together so it make it look like it's a bit neater. So I haven't got these loose wires, and that one goes to the light. So the middle wire, the one with the red here, it goes to this one, which is from the switch and the solenoid. The black obviously goes to the earth. I used the wrong colour on the other one, so that's the earth. And then just the straight green goes straight onto the dash light. So I'll get that all soldered in to the right length, heat shrinked up, and then test it up. So I've got the transistor unit all wired in, heat shrinked up. I haven't cable tied it up yet because I just tested it, so I'll walk around now and I will show you all the diff locks working, not the diff locks working, the diff lock lights working. So I didn't have to get it all to work, but to get that factory feel. So diff lock, so rear diff, front diff, and then center diff. So they all work. Bang the compressor on. So once I get the lockers actually in the centers, it'll be just a matter of if I need front or front and rear. So bang the compressor on, go rear if I want front, bang front, and then bang, job done. So the next thing I've got to do, tidy up that bit of wiring, then I can probably put the glove box back together, and then I started on the bracket for the tank, the air compressor tank, yesterday, day before Friday. So I've got to finish off another part of the bracket, then I can mount the tank and then run some lines up. I am waiting on some bulkhead connectors for the airline, so I can run just a high flow fitting in the front on the bull bar and the same on the rear bar, the high flow airline connector. I ditched the ARB connector because I don't actually have an ARB hose. I've just got a standard high flow airline hose, so and you can get them anywhere, where the ARB one you have to get from ARB. You can get fittings for Bunnings and get them anywhere, so I've gone to the high flow fitting so I can pump up tyres, just have a short 2 metre hose on the front, bang, 2 metre hose on the back. So they'll have three. I'll have one on the bull bar, one on the compressor, and one on the rear bar. Shouldn't need any more air than that.